An object moves along a line in such a way that its x and y coordinates at time t are given by the parametric equations x equals 1 minus t and y equals 1 plus 2t. We want to find when and where the object crosses this circle, x squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 25. So what we're going to do first is we're going to substitute in our values for x and y. So x is 1 minus t, we're going to square that, plus y is 1 plus 2t, so 1 plus 2t, we're going to put it in the place of the y squared, and that equals 25. And what this is going to do when we solve this, it's going to allow us to find the time t when this happens, and then from knowing when, we'll be able to find where. So if we square out our binomials, 1 minus t times 1 minus t would be 1 minus 2t plus t squared. And in the next one, 1 minus 1 is 0, so 2t squared would be 4t squared equals 25. So we end up with 5t squared minus 2t is equal to 24. So 5t squared minus 2t minus 24 is equal to 0. And so we have a quadratic equation, and we can try to factor that. It's going to factor into 5t and t. And then we're going to have minus 12 plus 2. So let's check that out. 5t times t is 5t squared, and negative 12 times 2 is negative 24. And when we multiply our outsides and add that to the product of our insides, we have 10t minus 12t, which is negative 2t. So we did factor it correctly. Now we're going to take each one of those factors and set them equal to 0. So 5t minus 12 equals 0, gives us 5t is 12, and t is 12/5. And t plus 2 equals 0, gives us t is negative 2. So we've just come up with the when that answers our question. When do the parametric equations intersect the circle? Whenever t is 12/5 and whenever t is negative 2. So now we need to find where this happens, at what coordinates. So to do that, we now know what t is, so we're going to substitute t back into our equations. So we know that x is 1 minus t, and if t is 12/5, then x is going to be 1 minus 12/5. So 5/5 minus 12/5 is negative 7/5. And then to find the y is 1 plus 2 times t, and if t is 12/5, we're going to have 1 plus 24/5, which 1 plus 24/5 would be 5/5 plus 24/5, which is 29/5. So we come up with at t, or when t equals 12/5, they're going to cross at the ordered pair negative 7/5, 29/5. Then if we go down to where t equals negative 2, x would be 1 minus negative 2, which is 3, and y would be equal to 1 plus 2 times negative 2, which would be 1 minus 4, which is negative 3. And so when t is negative 2, we have that it crosses at 3, negative 3.